As many of you probably know, there are myriad color resources out there on the internet for exploring not only color schemes, but basic ideas about color, ways to create color ideas and schemes and themes, and there's way too many to cover in a short informative video. So I'm going to show you this one web page, and then I'm going to demo one of the resources that they talk about. This is Mog Design, and it is a listing. This page on the site is a listing of color resources that will help you. This is a current website, so I have not checked all of the links, but I'm sure that most, if not all, of these do work. And Adobe Cooler is the one I'm going to be showing you in just a moment. But you can go through this site and click on the different links here and have some fun with how to create different colors and looking at different color ideas. This one is one that I have used, and it's great fun. You enter the URL of an image online and you can make color palettes from it, 5 color palettes, and you'll notice that it gives you hexadecimal numbers here, and it's a great way to come up with a quick color scheme from a photo. So that's quite a bit of fun. So we're going to go to Adobe Cooler right now. And this is a website that Adobe has offered as an extension, and you can use it if you don't have an Adobe ID, but I recommend that you do get one because that will allow you to create and download color schemes for your own use. And if you don't have an Adobe ID, it's easy to get one. They're free. Just go to adobe.com and follow the prompts to create one. And you can see that I've signed in with my Adobe ID, and I'm going to be able to show you the 2 basic parts of this site that allow you to not only create color schemes but explore other people's and download them, which is the fun part. So I'm in the Create section right now, and this is particularly helpful for this course that you're taking because we are talking about different color rules, monochromatic, complementary, that sort of thing. If I click on Triad, you'll see that the color wheel here shows 5 different sliders set up in the triadic relationship, and you can move these sliders around to edit this 5 color palette. You'll notice that there are other sliders underneath that are showing the values of these colors. They can be moved from here as well to create different colors. And it has an RGB and a hexadecimal color equivalency numbers down below. These are for identification and for color matching. They don't have print CMYK or other color spaces on here, but once you get these colors into Photoshop or Illustrator, you would be able to edit them using the other color spaces if you chose to. So I've got this triadic color scheme. I kind of like that one. This one seems a little too similar, so I can further alter it. Let's say that I like that. Now if I like that color scheme, because I have my ID and I'm logged in, I'm able to name and save this theme. So I'm going to name this Bryson Monday. Today's Monday. And I hit save, and it will go into my themes right here. These are the different ones that I've saved, and I can mouse over them and have different options for what I can do. I can delete the ones I don't want, I can copy the link, I can go in and further edit it should I choose, but I want to download this. So I'm going to click on download, and on my computer it's going to download to my desktop. You may have to configure your system to let it know where to save your file. If you're on a PC, it might save to your downloads folder, but mine is set up for the desktop, and that's important because I want to know where to get this later to import it. The other thing to notice is this file extension. This is a .ase file, which stands for Adobe Swatch Exchange. This is a good one to use and to know because the Swatch Exchange files will allow you to upload these colors to both Illustrator, Photoshop, InDesign, or any Adobe program. So it's a very versatile format. So I'm going to save it, and I'll move these windows out of the way quickly to show you the file that I just saved, brysonmonday.ase. And you can see that I have a few others that I saved earlier. But that's what this Adobe Swatch Exchange icon looks like. And if you see this, you know that it's a color file. Alright, so back to Cooler. So I've saved that. Now, another way to use Cooler is to explore different color schemes. And this is a lot of fun because as a member, you can also upload different schemes that you've made to Cooler, and people can talk about them and rate them and different things like that. I don't use the social networking part of it, but you certainly are welcome to explore that. What I like to do is search by keyword. And I love to type in not obvious words, but more subtle words, more words that might suggest a mood. I'm typing in the word friendly, and we're going to see what color schemes have been saved with the name friendly in the name. And you can see different ideas for friendly color schemes, and they range quite wildly, I would say. And again, you can mouse over something you like. You can either download it right away, or you can go in and edit it. And you'll notice that with a custom color rule, your sliders are separate. You're not married to any particular color rule the way that the others are. So this is great fun. Now I've edited this to my liking, and instead of copy of friendly, I'm going to name it as Bryson is friendly and save that. Okay, and go to my themes to download it. And save it. So I now have an ASE file called BrysonIsFriendly.ase. Now let's switch on over to Photoshop and Illustrator. We'll start with Photoshop, and let's bring in some of these color files here. I have a Photoshop file. I'm not going to put anything on it because I'm just concerned right now with the swatches panel. To add colors to your swatches panel, you go to your swatches flyout and you load swatches. Okay, it's going to have you navigate to where you'll want to navigate to where your files are. I know that mine's on the desktop, so let's bring in Monday.ase, click open, and now those 5 colors from Bryson Monday are down here in my palette, and I'll go ahead and load the other one, Bryson is Friendly. Open, and there are my friendly colors. Okay, all there. It's great. Now, if you want to, you can go ahead and delete these files now. You don't need to save them. You certainly can save them if you want to. But right now, for my purposes, these are now in my Photoshop Color Swatches panel. Now, Photoshop saves colors in the Swatches panel across different files. All right, so these colors will stay in here until you either delete them or load another color palette or something like that. If you should want to ensure that you save these, you can go to Save Swatches, and actually no, I made a little mistake there. It's not a mistake, but you'll notice that there are 2 different ways to save swatches. This first one will save it only for Photoshop. I recommend that you use the Save Swatches for Exchange option, because that will give you the ASE file. Okay, let's call this Photoshop Colors. It doesn't put the ASE on it here, but it will, and there it is. See, there's my ASE Photoshop Colors. Now this is handy because I want to bring these exact same colors now into Illustrator and use them there. So I can do that because I have this ASE file called Photoshop Colors. So let's switch on over now to Illustrator. I've got the same file here. Illustrator's color swatches work a little bit differently, and actually I like them a little bit better, although Photoshop is fine. But with Illustrator, instead of loading swatches, you have to open a swatch library. So you bring, and I'm moving this over here because there's a little menu structure here. You go to the flyout and you go down to Open Swatch Library. Again, I'm in Illustrator right now. And you can't see this, it's unfortunately off the video, but down at the bottom of this menu, there's lots of different colors here. At the very bottom there is a selection called Other Library. You want to click on Other Library, and you then navigate to where your file is saved. And I happen to know that mine is on the desktop, called PhotoshopColors.ase. Click on it, hit Open. And now in Illustrator, it opens it in this separate window. These are all the colors that were in my Photoshop file and the new ones that we brought in from Cooler. And you'll notice the little white triangle which tells you that these are imported colors. They're perfectly good colors. They work just the same. They're just indicated with that little triangle to show you that they're brought in from elsewhere. Now you can add these colors one at a time by dragging them over to your swatches, or if you want to add them all, you can click and shift click to get all of them, and then go to your flyout here and add to swatches, and you see now they're all brought in. Okay, now you can go ahead and close this out because you already have these colors. Now this is what I like about the Illustrator swatches setup. If I was to save this Illustrator file, these colors are going to be saved in this swatches panel, which is associated with this file. Okay. In Photoshop, the color swatches are kind of across all the files, but here this color panel is specific to this file, and it's easy to transfer colors between files. But what I like is that you don't have to save this palette. It's going to save when you save the file. So that's really versatile and helpful. Again, when you're done with your ASE files, you're welcome to save them, or if you want to just get rid of them, you know how easy they are to create. So I think it's great that we get this flexibility here. So I hope that you enjoy this exploration of Cooler. If you haven't gone into it, it is well worth the time, and you will never be at a loss for cool colors to use using Cooler. Have fun.